Hey there. I didn't see you there, maybe. And, well, you don't know that. So, for something that I was working on recently, I noticed a lot of anime movies that I had to watch are not good. And not just anime movies in general, which is true. We'll get to that another day. Anime movies based on American productions. And I want to ask why. And unlike that time I talked about Netflix, this time I have an answer for you. So, anime is in this weird position where it's never really been all that popular, right? That seems weird, but the anime community is much smaller than you think it is. There is a reason why Adult Swim was basically profitable without Inuyasha, and Toonami is still kind of going because Funimation is saying it's profitable for us to give you the rights for these shows for, well, not cheap, but cheap relative to television standards because it's just a good marketing move. It shows solidarity that we are willing to go to back for our audience. But the anime audience is kind of small. This is why, like, the biggest anime people in general don't get many more than like a couple of tens of thousands of people following them. Like, that's kind of rare. Like, there aren't really too many like nexuses for the anime community. Like, I guess there's Reddit, but no, and there's 4chan, but also I don't think every anime fan is a pedophile. Um, so you have a weird position that anime is constantly in, where people know about it, but it's not hugely profitable. So the marketing stuff is kind of done-ish in a way because anime fans are pretty good about telling each other what's the good shit, especially recently. And when I say this, when I say anime isn't popular or anime isn't that profitable, when I say that, I mean that relative to its competition. Like, a big anime movie, in the states anyway, isn't going to be like a shit tier regular movie. Like, it's not going to be an normie movie, or like a big anime like Dragon Ball Super is probably not going to outbeat a prime time show. Anyway, so you're in this position where you have bought this property because people know what this is. They know what this shit is, but only a relatively small number of people are like familiar with it. Like, only so many thousands of people know what Ghost in the Shell is, or at least willing to put down a bunch of money on it, right? So, knowing that you can't really pander to nerds quite as hard as Marvel can, you have to take a page from their book and just change shit until you have an audience for it to work for. But here's the thing, where Marvel is willing to do like a shit ton of extra work to basically make the basic tenets of their characters still true. They just take all the story shit and just give it the axe. But all the characters are basically the same ish. The weirdness is sort of stripped down, but at, your basic tenets, this is all the same shit, just in a different context. If anything, the movies kind of reflect the nature of like anime adaptation films like Naruto the movie, or Pokemon the movie, where they just take the stuff that's already there and just recontextualize it into a neater package, except for that Marvel movies tend to be good. So, these are normally done with kind of half-hearted efforts, where it's mostly done to get money. So you almost never see things that are comfortable with anime's usual inherent amount of weirdness to it. And typically, it's very rare that a studio will put the legwork into doing the extra work of finding a genre this thing fits in, and not just retrofitting it badly like Dragon Ball and weird sci-fi, or Ghost in the Shell and cyberpunk, but instead of adapting it into that genre like fluidly, like Mortal Kombat is to kung fu movies, they instead look for another movie that was also kind of popular that they can just kind of slap things into. And there's a lot of being weirdly not comfortable with letting anime movies be genre films. But more often than not, anime kind of does fall into closer to genre movies, like dumb popcorn action movies or dumb drama movies or something like that. So, you have this weird mishmash of trying to appeal to like a regular audience, but also not wanting to accept that the best way to appeal to a normal people audience with this material that's very strange is to just let it be strange, not keep it accurate. Because I'm a firm believer in you can adapt anything if you're willing to make some changes to it. That's fine. But in the sense of being afraid to let it just be a genre movie, just let it be a generic action movie. Like, it doesn't have to make all of the money, it just has to make some of the money. So they're making these movies with extremely broad-ish appeal that come off as strange and unusual, because it's basically like trying to get your mom to fucking play Pokemon cards. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, this is assuming your mom doesn't know how to play Pokemon cards. Let's say little old Sid is 8 years old, right? I walk up to my mom and say, "Mommy, you like poker? Here, let me show you how to play Pokemon cards." And she's like, "Wow, that's really great, honey. Get that away from me, please. Thank you. Whatever anime shit you're doing, that's good for you." And that is sort of how they do. Like, when you try to pitch a regular person Dragon Ball, that's how it's going to come off. Like that. Like, I don't care what weird adaptations you've made to this, it just comes off as weird. Especially when people look at the reviews and go, "Wow, that movie was fucking dog shit." Because people do look at reviews. Like, that is a thing that people care about. Like, a movie doesn't have to be perfect, but, I've never seen Blade of the Immortal. I love that. I've never read Die, Kill, Repeat, or whatever it's called, and I fucking loved Edge of Tomorrow, because those movies were just good movies. Like, it didn't focus too hard on being an adaptation. It just focused on, this is what my source material is. This is the basic premise. This is the absolute bare minimum, or the bare bones of my premise. Let's make a good movie around that. Like, to risk going into nerd rage mode, so Dragon Ball Evolution, like a perfect example of this kind of thing, right? Okay, so Dragon Ball seems really weird. There's a lot of components going on. Ooh, we don't know how to adapt it. Let's try to make it let's just try to make it cool for the kids, right? Like, let's add a tweet in there, DBE, right? It's great that I'm wearing these glasses now. Marketing, right? What do the kids like in Power Rangers? What do the millennials like? Autism? Let's make an autism. What do the kids like? Gay? Yeah, sure, let's add some of that in there too. You just kind of put some things in and didn't bother trying to make a good movie. Like, you were so concerned about, squeezing, the life from this property, you didn't bother trying to make a good movie. So the people that just want to see a good movie, which is most people, they don't want to fucking see it. And the people that, were looking forward to an adaptation, they don't want to see it. So now nobody's seeing it because nobody cares. You can make a good movie, and, regular ass people will just walk in and see it and go, that was a good movie. Or you can make a really closely adapted movie and have 6 people come in and go, that was a good movie. But when you just make a shit movie, and that's also a shit adaptation, nobody fucking cares. Yeah, that's 8 more days. There's very little time.